One thing that I cannot emphasize enough is that you should be able to understand what a variable represents just by reading its name. The thing that annoys me most is when people think they're being smart by using as few characters as possible for their variable names. It really doesn't cost you anything, so it's much more important to be clear. Later, people come back and they can't understand what their code does at all, even after 24 hours. So never sacrifice readability for variable name length. A long but clear variable name is always going to be better than a short but vague name. For example, this short, ambiguous variable name x should definitely be replaced by something much more like this. Now that I've done that, it's much more clear what it represents, and when I use it later in my code, I'm going to know exactly what it refers to just by reading the name. But I really don't want to see variable names like x. A lot of the time, I see people using acronyms to name variables too. So they might have something like this. And this just causes the same problem again, where you forget what that acronym is for later, and you'll be using this variable later in your code, and you can't tell what it means just by looking at it. Another way to come up with a bad variable name is to use a generic name like output, result, or value. So if I were to name this something like output, it's like, yes, it is an output, but output of what? Again, I can't tell what it is just by reading that name. So to summarize, always stress test your variable names by asking yourself if you would know what it meant just by reading the name. Make it super clear.